welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling, and this is a news break. So there's some new stuff coming up in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. The wrestling world right now is buzzing over a promo from Friday Night SmackDown between The Rock, who made an appearance, flew all the way to New Orleans, to go make a big announcement and make a not challenge, but a challenge to WWE champion Cody Rhodes. So the big announcement was the fact that WrestleMania next year will be coming once again from the Superdome and New Orleans. So that was exciting. The crowd was very hyped for that. Very good show. New Orleans has had a couple of WrestleManias already. Of course, probably the one that everybody remembers the most is the Bryan Danielson WrestleMania. I believe it was WrestleMania 30, where Danielson completed his Karate Kid Daniel LaRusso story by beating all the bullies and becoming the world champion. The great underdog story. But this is a new WWE, and they're moving into a new future, and I'm not quite sure if this was to set up Rock having a future match. Now remember, Rock is getting older. I think he's probably, if not in his 50s, he's approaching his 50s. I don't know offhand. I don't like looking at guys' personal information about their ages because it's kind of weird to me, but generally speaking, we know he's older. And he, years ago, when he came back to wrestle John Cena, he did injure himself in the one match he wrestled with Cena. So this seemed to be just The Rock in a new kind of a Vince McMahon role, what the old Mr. McMahon role was, but this is The Rock's version of it. And he called out Cody Rhodes to the ring. Cody comes to the ring. They talk about their friendship and their moms and their dads and their daughters, and they have this kinship, and you feel the entire time that The Rock is setting up Cody for something. We don't know quite what it is. And at a certain point in time, The Rock then lets Cody know, because Cody slapped him in the face last year during that whole build-up to WrestleMania and a tag match, Roman and Rock against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Rock hasn't forgotten about that, and what The Rock wants is for Cody to be bigger than The Rock, but he really wants Cody's soul. Which took everybody by surprise, and a lot of people on social media had some commentary about it. One person wrote, "The Rock wanting Cody's soul is certainly something I wasn't expecting. Curious how the heck this is going to play out. Very weird promo." Another person made mention of the obvious parallel between The Rock's commentary and the Mortal Kombat movie and TV character Shang Tsung. Another person said, "Great, another slave versus boss storyline. Can we please change it? There's still time." That is a criticism I've seen of WWE booking. I noticed it too about last year because, this is the same storyline with, Jey Uso and Roman, and then Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, and Otis and Chad Gable, and now once again we have an ownership. WWE loves these storylines. It goes back years and years and years. JBL had one with Shawn Michaels, so this isn't anything new. This person provided a very interesting Photoshop composite of The Rock's face on Cody Rhodes' body as the champion. And of course, it's the internet, it's social media, so the sweaties have to troll. In this case, we have an AEW sweaty trolling saying, "Just cancel SmackDown, AEW cooking this show." The Rock at a press conference after this show did express what he thought about the storyline. It's something that he's quite proud of, but he did say this about the storyline, which even further has people a bit confused.
So in the world of pro wrestling, as we all know, like everything will culminate to a match. Like whatever happens, it will end up in the ring. What I really love about this rare air space that we've gotten to with the character of the final boss, it's like this white whale unicorn in that with Final Boss and Cody Rhodes, it's not about the WWE title, it's not about having a match, it's not about punching or kicking or bleeding or any of that is so part of our world. It never has to culminate to a match. That's a really special place to be, I think, like creatively, and when you just think character-wise and how much fun you could have.
Once again, WWE, as I've mentioned for years, and now it's confirmed by the guy that's basically running the whole show. Well, to some extent, he's the head of the board or whatever it is. He's on the board of TKO that owns WWE, but once again, the confirmation of what I've been saying for years, WWE is less concerned about wrestling matches and more concerned about drama. That statement from The Rock is exemplary of the melodrama era that we are in. But you guys let me know in the comment section, do you like the idea that this Rock Cody thing might not likely end up in a match, or do you think this is all kind of smoke and mirrors, and WrestleMania in New Orleans next year is actually going to be when we see this match between Cody and The Rock? Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. In some other wrestling news, we've got Scott Steiner's son, Brock Steiner, however you want to pronounce it. He will be apparently now heading to WWE as well, because WWE's had their eye on him for a long time, and it does seem a deal is in the works or already completed. But Brock, of course, is the cousin of current Rick Steiner's son, Braun Breaker, who has been absolutely tearing it up in WWE with his character over the last year or so. His brother Brandon is also very, very interested, probably more interested in being in WWE than any of them. And Brock said this recently in an interview. He said that according to his brother, or in reference to his brother, that his brother has signed an NIL deal with WWE. So my dream for him would be to do really good in football, try to take on the NFL, whatever that means, and then he will be a WWE superstar because he's so talented and he has the charisma that my dad has. While Brock remains focused on his football career for now, his NIL deal paves the way for a WWE future, potentially setting up another second-generation Steiner to take over the squared circle. Of course, we could get Steiners everywhere, Steiner lines everywhere, Steiner brothers everywhere. It's curious that the Steiners, who have had a love-hate relationship with WWE over the years, they're, in my opinion, they're more WCW legends than they are WWE legends. Scott Steiner had 2 runs, first as the Steiner brothers, and then he came in as Big Papa Pump. That was not very long-lived and not very well received, but over the years, of course, this is the way the wrestling world has gone, and WWE, once again, making sure that the Steiners can't go anywhere else. So these NILs are very interesting, and I think we're going to be looking more and more into those in the future, because these NILs might be changing the landscape of pro wrestling going forward. More to that monopoly thing, but we will get to that in the future. As for Brock, he is, again, obviously more concerned with his football career, but clearly his brother, and his cousin are all fairly interested in becoming big WWE superstars, and I think that's probably the most likely possibility in the next 5 years. And lastly, we'll talk a little bit about AEW contracts. There's been a lot of confusion about what's going on with AEW contracts, but in 2025, there are some particular talents whose contracts will be expiring this year. Danhausen is definitely one of them. A lot of people looking forward to and anticipating that Danhausen's probably going to be joining his buddy, Phil Brooks, over in WWE at some point in time this year. Killer Kelly's contract apparently expires this year. And the big one we are talking about, of course, is Rey Fenix, who has been in the doghouse of AEW for quite some time. AEW's been in the doghouse with them. A lot of fans are not happy about the whole story that's kind of leaking. But again, there's 2 sides to every story. We haven't heard the full story about it. But Fenix, given the fact that Penta has been treated with the royal treatment over in WWE, which they're going to make sure they're going to do, especially with these guys coming over from AEW, Fenix is going to eventually be on the WWE roster at some point in this year. So expect to see the Lucha Brothers play a big role in what's going on in the company over the next couple of months. And this is something that, again, AEW is going to have to contend with. The only group that I do think may be staying around is FTR. Of course, they just recently signed a new contract with AEW the other year, so I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. And there's still some conjecture over Britt Baker, but we'll cover these things as they play out in 2025. Keep in mind, though, one of the things with all of these movements, and we saw it before when a lot of people were going over to AEW, with a lot of people now going from AEW over to WWE, and WWE with these NIL agreements, with this new training group that's a NXT to NXT, and then reaching out and trying to just grab up everything. They're going to eventually run, in my opinion, to the same problem they had before, which is there's just not enough spots and not enough time, no matter how many hours of programming they put on, for everybody to get what they feel they should be getting working in WWE. Right now, things are looking really good, but there are people, for every new person coming in, there's somebody that's been in WWE for a while who's probably secretly feeling like they are not getting their just desserts. So do not expect that this could not shift the other way again in the future. It all is about timing. But I want to know what you guys think. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Who do you think is going to actually be leaving AEW this year and heading to the WWE outside of the list I've mentioned? What do you think about the Steiners being yet another one of those families that Cody's intro mentions, that wrestling has more than one royal family? The Steiners seem to be on their way to doing that as well. And what do you think about The Rock wanting Cody's soul, and this, whatever it is, not actually culminating in a wrestling match? And is this the direction that a lot of us have thought for years that WWE is going in, not really focusing on the in-ring and focusing on the spectacle and the melodrama? Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell. And be sure to share this on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, wherever you talk about pro wrestling and sports entertainment. I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.